So why don't we get started with our first topic? Main topic that I think probably from the very beginning, Sonny was acquitted of all charges on Monday, and he this is what the setup was. We find out from what Brick, put together for Betty to take to uh, his enemies, the Gatlin gang. So they staged a setup. They set up a shipment from Pikeman, and when the feds opened the boxes, it was coffee.
Coffee. Good old Sunny coffee. That's what you get, feds. Would you like some coffee here? Yeah, they didn't find what they were looking for because Sunny knew they were sniffing around and was smart and came up with that. So that was pretty smart of him. He was one step ahead. And I think one of the feds say later in the week, like, well, he's not always going to be one step ahead. We'll get him next time. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck with that. It's Sonny Corinthos you're up against.
But I like how he explained that, outsmarting the feds wasn't the plan. Like that was like an added bonus. That was an afterthought because he was more looking to flush out who his enemies are and who's the head of the Gatlin Holt gang, and the fact that the FBI picked up on it, and we actually learned more towards the week that it's the warden from Pentonville that is actually working for Cyrus. So Cyrus is not this changed person.
Yeah, that kind of all made sense when they revealed that. I was like, yeah, I knew Cyrus was in on something shady. I knew it. So
I agree. I didn't think that he was a fully changed man, but the way that Jeff Kober plays the character is so cerebral that you don't know. Like he could have, the way that he, preaches and quotes the Bible and says he turned over a new leaf, especially with Laura and everything, really made you think that maybe there was a possibility. But he's still very much manipulative and he's very much a cult leader.
oh yeah, he's just using the sort of throwing some Bible verses out there to trick everyone into thinking
Yeah.
he's changed. He is not. And I think if you quote, this is a Joyce Meyer quote, for those of you who know Joyce Meyer, just because you go to church doesn't make you a Christian. So just because Cyrus knows a few Bible verses doesn't make you a Christian, y'all. Like, we know that.
That's true. But the question we have to find out is, like, we know why Cyrus is against Sonny. He's been against Sonny since he came on canvas back, right before the pandemic hit. But we also now we have to find out why he brought the warden up. Like, what was the whole point of inserting the warden into Pentonville? Was it just simply so he could run his criminal organization from Pentonville and have her look the other way? Because that's kind of like my big question right now.
Yeah, I think he's hoping to work out a certain deal with her so he could get, released early or something for good behavior. Good behavior.
Yeah.
Quote unquote good behavior, because that's the show he's putting on.
No, I agree. And it definitely can. It definitely could backfire for the warden at some point. And we'll probably see that going forward. But how about the fact that after Sonny and Charlie go to visit Drew in Pentonville, and Drew's talking to the guard right outside the visiting room, and Cyrus is right around the corner just listening to him. Like, it's almost like the writing is frustrating because you almost want to believe that Drew is trying to do something. Like, I almost felt like the way they shot that should have been having the audience think that Drew is being, secretive, being on the down low and everything, finding out the information from the guard, and not knowing that Cyrus is lurking right back there. I almost thought that should have been the Friday cliffhanger. the way it was shot. It shouldn't have been shot that way, because it almost seems like Drew is just not not somebody who's very stealthy in trying to get information.
Yeah, no, that's not like, I mean, he's kind of talking to that guard kind of sort of out there in the open. I mean, aren't they in a public space? You can't, it's not like he talked to the guard off to the side in a corner or something. Like, it seemed like anybody could listen in. But I feel like Cyrus, it's almost like Cyrus knew already, like maybe he had been spying on Sonny, Carly, and Drew and already had overheard that was what was going to happen. So he was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to keep an eye on Drew and see where he goes after this meeting. So I think he already, like, he was already up and up with that.
Well, I want to see, because now that adds a different wrinkle into the whole Cyrus and Drew situation in Pentonville, where, you know, with Cyrus having the quote last week saying, oh, well, now I'm under Sonny's protection because of you, or just by proxy because of you, because you're under Sonny's protection. And it almost adds a new wrinkle now as to what kind of manipulation is Cyrus going to try to use on Drew to find out what Sonny's going after, or find, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, that's another thing. Where is that leading? So that's another wrinkle of the story.
Right. Well, I'm sure we will see how that shakes out, but I think anything Cyrus does at this point, he definitely has an ulterior motive. He's not being nice to Drew just to be nice.
Right.
It's for inside information. So.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
All right. I did like, however, how Michael went over to Sonny's after the acquittal and just basically spilled it. I honestly thought he was going to say, look, I hired Dex to work for you. I thought he was going to spill that, but he didn't. But I did like the idea that he went over there and apologized and said, listen, I'm sorry for all the guilt that's been consuming me over the past, past year or so. And I just want to work to get back to where we were. I thought that was really good of Michael.
Right. I think he still loves his father, despite how angry he is with him. That scene just showed how much he still loves his father, despite the fact that he hates what his father does. And
right.
He's such a criminal and deserves to go to prison, but well, because he's Sonny Corinthos. Even if he went to prison, he'd be out in a day.
Exactly. Sonny is the definition of anti-hero. But yeah, I liked how Sonny's kids basically came out in force for him at the trial, because you saw Dante even saying, listen, I don't care what the feds think. When I became a cop, it didn't preclude me from also being a son and supporting my father. So, I like that. Christina's always been in her dad's court.
Yep.
And, with Nina there, I did like that. But the look on Diane's face when, when they announced that the charges were, dropped without prejudice, was almost priceless, because of the fact that she's always the one that's so stoic and the one that has to work to get him off. Mm-hmm. It's like she's never had that just out of the blue happen.
Right. Yeah, that was an easy work day for her. She didn't have to do all the work of arguing in the courtroom like normally she would. So that was that was kind of interesting to me too, because I was just kind of sitting there like watching. I was like, oh, that's quick. Like he got those charges dropped quick, and then they were all like, oh, wow, feds weren't as sure as they thought they were about catching Sonny, and all they had was coffee beans, and they don't have the evidence. And I'm like, oh. Hope you got some good coffee beans out of it. I mean, the coffee works pretty good. So, I mean, I love coffee.
All right. Anything else you want to go over about Sonny, Nina, Dante, Michael, that storyline?
Yeah, not really, but I'm wondering when they're going to let the truth drop with Nina and Sonny about her. She keeps having these flashbacks
Right.
of what she did of getting Carly to try to. Well, she tried to get Carly arrested. Carly almost got to prison, and then yeah. So I'm just waiting for that other shoe to drop, and I'm guessing that's probably not going to happen until like maybe November sweeps.
I'm thinking that's going to happen more towards February sweeps when they're going to get married. You know,
Oh, you think they're going to drag it out that long?
because you got to remember the entire thing with Nina and the SEC hinges on Eddie Main's storyline and Ned regaining his memory. Unless Nina has a sudden conscience battle and actually comes clean. I don't see that happening.
I don't know. I think the guilt is kind of eating her up a little bit.
Could be.
So.
But we'll see. So all right, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be back with the next topic right here on the Suds in the Squared Circle. Be right back.